here with
Joe LaFrance.
and we just got back from seeing Gravity, Alfonso Cuarón's latest film, and he's directed Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, The Little Princess, Children of Men, and so he's a very visually impressive filmmaker and makes beautiful films, and that's definitely holds true for Gravity, which is just one of the most definitely one of the most beautiful films this year. It's just astounding to look at. What are your thoughts on it?
I would call it visually stunning.
Yes. And it's one of those films where you watch it and you're just like, how the heck did they make this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of times today you watch movies with special effects and you're like, okay, that's just in a computer. And obviously this was just in a computer too, but never at any moment are you like, this is special effects.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're shooting on location up in space.
I actually asked myself a few times today, are they actually in space?
And they're not. It's all just, and I guess it took before they even shot a single frame of it, they had to animate everything in advance. So they took 4 years just to animate all of the atmospheres and all of the locations and everything.
Good to know.
It's definitely, I wouldn't say it's the best film of the year, but for pure visceral visual entertainment, it's the best thing I've seen this year.
Visceral would be the way to describe it.
Yeah, it is just pure suspense and tension, and just it has the 5-10 minutes in the beginning where it's the calm before the storm, but then after that it never lets up.
Yeah, it's quite exciting.
Yeah, and it's a really and you act, so you can speak to this. It's essentially just a 2-person film, and for the large part of it, for most of it, it is just one person having to hold the whole film, and Sandra Bullock does a good job of holding that.
Absolutely.
As an actor, what would you speak to that?
Well, having never been in a 1 or 2-person show, but having seen quite a few, yeah, the weight is definitely placed on their shoulders, and Sandra Bullock did a good job bearing that weight.
Yeah.
Moving it forward with not that much dialogue, if you consider the fact.
And she is actually given a very complete arc, and does it well, because essentially, and this is a bit of a spoiler, and I'll try to talk around it without spoiling it, the entire film is more or less an allegory for letting go of a tragedy and moving past a tragedy and deciding if you want to face that tragedy and move past it or to just give up. And there's a very strong, very powerful moment, a little monologue that Sandra Bullock has describing this tragedy and how it affected her. That is very moving. And I don't want to spoil what that is, but that really is the crux of the whole film.
And I just want to say there are a few choices she has to make in the movie that revolve around that letting go aspect.
Yeah. The film is not really subtle with it, but at the same time, it's nice that there is a bit of emotional substance to it instead of it just being this nonstop suspense thriller.
Mm-hmm. There were a couple of aw moments.
Yeah. And there are little moments of humor that do break it up. Not huge moments, but just Sandra Bullock floating in space just saying, oh, I hate space. And it helps just break some of the tension because it's just nonstop.
It's very deep and thought-provoking, and you need a little bit of a break from that every now and then. And
I think there's, and I haven't seen tons of space films, but I think there was an intentional visual quote of 2001: A Space Odyssey, where she's kind of floating in a fetal position.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh, okay, I think they're referencing 2001 there. George Clooney is very good too, because he's kind of the calm, composed veteran who kind of does try to keep things light and tries to calm down Sandra Bullock, and
he's the conscience of the movie, I would say.
Yeah. He comes back in a certain scene, And yeah, he definitely does bring a lot of the humor to the film, and he's also very good in it.
Mm-hmm. But like you said, Sandra Bullock carried it.
Yeah, she does. She does carry it, and for people who really do only know her for comedies, I mean, obviously she does a lot. She has done a lot of dramatic work, but if you really do only go see her in romantic comedies and stuff, this will definitely be a surprise for you, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And also, you might be disappointed because you're just like, what? This isn't light and fun, Sandra Bullock. Why is she so sad? Well, she's floating in space.
It's good to see that the different side of her.
Yeah. I would recommend it to a lot of people, like, because we have a little rating system. And we have see it, skip it, or rent it. And I would definitely say see it.
See it in theaters if you can.
In theaters, yes. On the bigger the screen, the better, really.
Mm-hmm.
And we did see it in 3D, and
that added so much to it.
It did. If you don't like 3D, this isn't going to change your mind on it, because some people it makes them nauseous. But if you do like 3D, then this is really well done.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, there are some moments of things being thrown at your face, but it's more just kind of like getting the idea of things floating around,
mm-hmm.
which I thought was nice.
And there are quite a few scenes where it's first person. You are looking at it. You are from the point of view of Sandra Bullock.
Right.
And there is a lot of movement. So if you get easily sick from movement or motion sickness, probably not a good idea. But if you're good with it,
yeah, that would be the disclaimer with this film, because it is very much you're spinning around a lot, and it is from the first person, and so if you don't have a strong stomach, it definitely could make you nauseous or give you a headache, especially with the 3D. So that would be my only sort of disclaimer, that if you don't have a stomach for that, then you might want to pass on this. Or if you just can't take a film that is nonstop. Like, if you have anxiety, mm-hmm. this is not the film for you, because it's just nonstop. And it's basically, it's a space mission where everything that can go wrong does go wrong. It doesn't mm-hmm. seem like Sandra Bullock is ever going to catch a break. Mm-hmm. And, like, even at the very, very end, like, it was kind of like, I almost wanted to roll my eyes, because it was just like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me here?
What else should we put this woman through? Just saying.
And I don't want to say what happens in the very, very end, but it's just like, I don't need one more thing for this woman to go through.
Yeah.
But the final image is this it is like the hero shot, and it is so earned.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I do have to say, also being a musician, the score of this movie added so much to it. Mm-hmm. Just the intensity and the drama.
Right.
It was very, very well done.
Yeah, and the other thing is, there are moments of silence too, which is important. Like, the score is there, and it does enhance a lot, but the film also knows the importance of silence, mm-hmm. and just hearing Sandra Bullock breathing, or just things clanking around. And so it does have a good balance of a score that accompanies the action, but also just the silence. Like, even Sandra Bullock says, I appreciate the silence. And in that moment, there was silence. So it is a very well-crafted film. Like, there's already a lot of buzz that it's like one of the best films of the year. Mm. And I'm not sure it is one of the best films of the year, but for, like, as I said, for just pure, like, visuals, like, splendor, and for visceralness, like, nothing touches it for that.
I agree.
Like,
it will make you feel something.
Yeah, no, it is. And I talked to people that said, it didn't really do anything for me. And I just don't know, like, I guess if you went in, like, expecting a normal, like, narrative style film where characters interact, and this really is basically a one-woman show, and I guess it isn't really a traditional film in that, I mean, it does have a beginning, middle, and end, but it kind of doesn't really follow normal rules.
Different storytelling.
Yeah. But yeah, I would definitely say see it.
See it.